This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of September 5th, 2022. We are moving into a time when what you think, what you hear, what you do with your mind are all extraordinarily important, but with a twist. What you see, what you think, what you read, what you hear may not be as it initially seems. Venus in Virgo is inclining us to be precise, to be persnickety, to look at everything in our life from a perspective of how could I clean this up? How could it be better? So inner critics could be ramping up, but outer cleanup crews could be ramping up as well. Definitely to-do lists on the rise. At the same time, Mars is tootling through Gemini, also a Mercury-ruled sign, same as Venus's place in Virgo, whipping up lots of communication, causing lots of multitasking, making it extremely difficult at times to keep your focus on something because there's always another shiny object popping up and saying, ooh, 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 look at me, and it's very easy to run after that. And the ruler of both of those signs, Mercury, planet of communication, the guy who rules gadgets, and getting around, is stationing retrograde. September 9 through October 2nd. Retrograding from Libra back into Virgo and inviting yet another round of social media and online posts screaming about the sky falling and moaning about being persecuted by Mercury retrograde. All of this could actually be extremely beneficial. Sometimes misunderstandings lead to later clarity. Sometimes tripping on something causes you to look at it in a way that you haven't before. There are three big components surrounding this particular Mercury retrograde that may help you to see why this is your friend. The atmosphere bookending the retrograde station, bookending the week, is actually kind of indulgent and giddy-making. Encouraging going for what you want, encouraging asking for what you want, indulging in what you want, and talking about it. This is not a week of people hibernating, taking to the couch with vapors, and putting a wet cloth on their forehead. At least, not for very long. Secondly, the full moon in Pisces happens right after the retrograde station. It hits fullness on the 10th, and it's kind of weird because Neptune is with the moon close enough to be coloring all of the emotional dramas and crestings and whoever knows what with a sense of unreality and also enormous boundary blurring. It is likely that much of what you experience or feel is going to be soaking up other people's stuff. This moon also has a pretty strong funhouse quality. It's a little choppy. It's in an action-demanding relationship with Mars. So there's a lot of talk, whipping up confusion. Use that Mercury retrograde to your advantage. It may actually be slowing the flow of things, slowing the sense of time enough for you to suspend yourself in a situation and experience it and then look at it and then apply your mind to it, apply conversation, apply messages to it. The swirl may calm enough for you to be able to perceive what is floating in the water next to you. And then the third piece has us all making like a dog jumping out of the water and shaking water off crazily, crazily, crazily. The sun makes a trine to Uranus, which has been sitting at the same spot since the beginning of July. This trine effortlessly changes our sense of self, changes our identity, changes something core in our being because of the change agent Uranus sitting at 18 degrees Taurus for weeks and weeks and weeks and just shaking and shaking and shaking the physicality, the concrete aspects, the resources of our lives. Because the aspect is a trine, no effort is required. You simply live through it, things happen, light bulbs go off, and you stand there and go, yeah, I feel different. Even if the shift happens as a surprise, and it will have an element of surprise, even if it feels like it's coming out of left field, if you sit with it in those Neptunian, Piscean waters and allow the momentary stillness of time of Mercury stationing retrograde to direct your awareness into what's actually in the water with you, you will be able to see how the shifts, the epiphanies, the changes, the liberations, the awakenings of the weekend tie to the process that you've been going through since the beginning of July. Homing Thought of the Week. Take a second look. Song of the Week, Be All Right by Dashboard Confessional. And the image of the week is, oh, here's a big surprise, a dog swimming happily in a lake and then jumping out and shaking itself dry. You'll learn more about this in my Guide to Mercury Retrograde at Om Times and also and my forecasts for the Pisces full moon and the month of September, which are at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. This week, I am talking about the concept Ignite Your Life with Sarah Gish, who is more of a multi-hyphenate than I am, which is saying something. I also host lively conversation on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited and the group The Astro-Insight Lounge. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I'm on Instagram at @KABiehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.